Welcome, innovator, dreamers, and architect of tomorrow. In today's episode, we dive deep into a critical dilemma that has been the pivot of many success stories and also admittedly confusion. It is choosing the right media platform for your healthcare technology solutions and create the right narrative. But that's not all. We're going to peel back the curtain of one of the golden opportunity for you that could redefine your media journey. Healthcare entrepreneurs, are you ready to rewrite the rules for your business so you can have more time off, a great team, and more income while creating a positive social impact? Then you are in the right place. Welcome to The Provider's Edge. I'm your host, Sabrina Runbeck. I'm a provider, an international peak performance keynote speaker, and a best-selling author. Let's open the gateway to profitability for you today. My guests and I help healthcare entrepreneurs and startup founders like you break through barriers so you can control your business, control your life, and control your future. This is your defining moment to be a disruptor in healthcare. All right, I hope you are ready for today's discussion on podcast, radio, TV, and print media, and an exclusive insider to the Postpoint Passes Impact Awards, where spotlight isn't just a dream, it's a promise. All right. Hello. Thanks for coming back to today's episode. We are going to truly break down the differences between all these media platforms. We typically nowadays is always thinking about social media, but how do you really leverage other bigger platforms that's not just your own? The people who already have a large group of listeners, followings that truly want and be able to tap into their trust system. So your messages become something that bypass the cold front, but tap directly into the warm connections. And unfortunately, the platform dilemma is true. And we wanted to talk to you guys about what you have to do to decipher which platform is best for you and to showcase your company, your solutions, and how do you best connect with the end users, your patients and caregivers versus providers or organizations. Because there's a unique ability into how do you pitch for them? How do you stand out? What do you say? How do you be confident on camera or sound amazing on audio or be on multiple print magazines, whether someone is writing for you, a journalist, or you have to submit that yourself. And at the end of the day, it's all about grasping where you're at and inviting you to be able to work smarter, save your time, energy, and resources to make the best decision and quickly scale your health tech solution. All right, let's dive in, shall we? First up, podcast. We're here, aren't we? You love podcasts, probably. That's why you're here with me. They have been exploding in popularity, haven't they? With the on-demand audio version and nature and very niched audience who are listening to specific shows and getting the true scoop. I would say they're one of the most cost-effective resources that you can have because podcasting is very intimate, even though it can be episodes like today's, where is the host myself delivering my knowledges and experience and resources, or having an expert panel speaker or interviewing a industry leader who has been doing the groundwork, learning about the background story. No matter what, you can find the education and entertaining piece within podcasting that's beyond radio, TV, and print because they are also evergreen. And it's super flexible how you can find the shows, how people come across it. And there are also multiple platforms that show hosts, when they know how to do it correctly, be able to leverage these free SEOs to get their show out there, which means get your message out there even more. However, in any media, podcast is also pretty crowded, and standing out requires strategic storytelling and consistency, as well as high quality audio. Definitely, we have seen that higher quality of audio has been able to push out more than other episodes that does not have as good of sound quality. For any of you guys who are also podcasters, you might have similar experience. Love to hear your opinion. Drop us a message below or leave on a review. And remember, podcasts cater a niche market. Therefore, you can also easily dive down into, are you talking to just caregiver? Are you talking to patients? Are you talking to providers? Are you talking to decision makers who are from different organizations? And instead of some other larger media and even local media, you have no idea what the niche is. It's just whoever comes to their platform, right? And so smaller audience not necessarily is bad. It's actually when they're very much engaged, they're great people to have. But what about pitching podcasts? Was me running a TV show, 2 podcasts, which we're launching a 3rd one. Definitely, I got a lot of pitches throughout the day. One of the biggest thing I always tell everyone, even some of the media people, I tell them, keep it short, keep a value packed. Means don't dive in. This person have all these accolades. Do you really care? No. Why? I need to know if when you're pitching, you actually have a problem that my audience want to hear, and you actually understand who my audience are. If you're just blindly pitching and not able to be very specific on the niche and the topics that the show like to feature, then they feel like you did not do the work you're supposed to do. You're just massively sending out pitches, and that doesn't quite work. So podcast hosts get bombarded with pitch emails. So you needed to really stand out. And how do you stand out? That means you can be very unique with your story, can be even approach. Perhaps it's not just an email pitch. You're actually trying to connect with them on social media or have met them in any events to have a relationship. That is what's have to be done at the end of the day. The costs, often show hosts has been putting a free feature in most cases. And some people do require you to pay a package because any production time, hiring companies, teams, they're always a cost. And that cost ranges. Probably the cheapest is about $100 per show for any host to even do it themselves. And some go much higher depending on the visibility that you get, and then also marketing material that you will get from the back end for this production. And other costs could be you know how to pitch, then you just have to spend the time to do it or train one of your staff to do that. Otherwise, you hire a PR firm to make sure they craft your message correctly and consistently following up. But consider this for sure I'm always a big proponent of training one of your internal staff to consistently do it for you. And instead of paying PR companies $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 more to be able to do this. And you can really add up if you, especially in the stage that you don't have a big marketing budget. All right. So in some way, it's a long-term investment if you train a member of staff now, and it's actually much cheaper going down the road and be more effective because that person internally actually understand all the pivots, whatnot, versus PR agency. Sometimes they have these research lists and they never update for years, 2 years. And it's very much not consistent to that unique ability and showed off your brand. One of the experiences is a PR firm that has pitched me before had put a name of my show that was from more than 2 years ago that has rebranded and have not ran for a long time. And therefore, it doesn't look good for you if someone making those errors. All right, next up, talk about radio. Tradition, yes. Irrelevant, absolutely not. Now we even have a lot of online radio station that's beyond just the traditional put it on your car when you're listening to it. And iHeartRadio, for example. And it does offer incredible reach. And especially when we tested our radio network, a lot of European countries actually picking them up because you can have some show hosts have multiple episodes that just run on the loop, and therefore people can pick up and go as they please. Yes, one of the downside is they're not evergreen. It just, if you happen to catch it at what time of the day this show or this episode is going, mostly you wouldn't be able to find them. Just like podcasts, once it's aired, you can actually listen to it again at your own time. However, it still is powerful, especially for local markets, and it's live, giving the sense of urgency and involvedness and intimacy of that moment and trust with the host that you're really listening to. And as I mentioned, the downside is fleeting. Your story is heard once and generally it's gone. All right, how do we pitch to radio show hosts? Very similar idea as podcasting in general. You have to put in a value, the problem first, and also require you to understand their focus for that show and their own audience. If it's a morning show looking for a quick, exciting segment, you don't want it to be presenting some really heavy topic. And if it's like long form show in the afternoon for interview, then you need to be available, have a quiet space to be able to share that story and really map those out. I always say when you do an audio interview or TV interview, make sure you have your top talking topics down. And radio and podcast, you can talk longer versus TV. We'll talk about that. You need to talk in sound bites, otherwise you're cut. So do make sure you have your talking points lined up and talk shorter. If you keep going for 5 to 10 minutes, it's not a dialogue. It's not exciting anymore. It's just like a narrative. Got it? All right. Other things is we have to talk in 3 natural languages. Guess what? The 3 natural languages, especially for listener out there, you have no idea who they are. You can't pinpoint their personality. Number 1 natural language is spiritual. What is the vision? Just like why do we even do media in general, is that it gave us the ability to really showcase your solution to the world, whoever is the audience for each show. And those people probably never heard of you before. It's really the chance for you to get that credibility, visibility right away massively. Visionary talk. Emotional communicator are storytellers. For example, the reason that I got into running TV show, podcasting, and now have a whole network of healthcare creatives really come together as a collective is that when I was in clinical roles, I really loved education. So I started training med student, PE student, NP students, and start become the representative for our surgical department, CME, running these events, and eventually start presenting myself in the local, state, national, and international stages, conferences. And I really wanted a place, not just sharing my voice, but the solution and how everybody that are truly making changes in healthcare can come together, and especially talking to our executive, talking to the entrepreneur, talking to the innovators who are in the forefront of change. That's how slowly I learned what I need to do to leverage the right resources so I can run shows consistently and be able to not just feel like, oh, the show is launched, people are gonna listen. No. Just like you get interviewed, just rely on the show host to publish you, that's not enough. How do you do a smart with different marketing resources solution on your back end to continue to warm up and nurture everybody around you? storytelling is emotional language. Physical language is more about the KPIs. When we can read about downloads, can look into how many people actually landed back to your website's landing pages and how many people that you're able to create strategic partnership and help you to close a deal or help you to introduce it to a new amazing opportunity or help you to expand your network. Those things are truly concrete things that physical communicator want to know. Almost like the guarantee behind it versus emotional communicator is about that testimonial story versus the visionary, you need to paint a big picture for them. All right, there's a lot of speaking talk. Let's keep going. Onward to TV. Most time, TV is actually very much more difficult to pitch, and you only have about 3 to 5 minutes segment. So you have to talk in about 30-second sound bites and sound intelligently. And it is the big league. I have spent a lot of time learning about pitching on TV and definitely got myself on multiple stages within span of 2 months. I just being smart about it. And there's different ways that you can put yourself on these features without paying. However, I pay to train my staff and train myself to do it. Right? So whichever way, if you have a big budget, you don't have your own staff and resource to do it, then you might need to hire a PR team. Now, if you land a TV spot, it speaks values for sure about your credibility. And TV, most people are visual learners, so they do want to watch you. Audio sound is great because people like now we're listening to podcasts, or if you are happen to rewatch something on the go, it's a passive learning versus people visual TV, they are sitting there, they're watching you, and they might be walking around the house or doing something else, but majority of the time they're engaging with you more than 80% because we know our mind is always going somewhere else, right? Shifting memories and thoughts processes. The visual element is really crucial, allow you to demonstrate your technology, allow you to show graphics to really hook people's attention and make any complex problems simplified. And especially if you get national exposure, you can totally reboot that side of showing other people that you got those national, international exposure. Pretty cool. All right. But getting a spot on TV, it does take a lot of time, and you have to matching the current events that's happening, or you actually know certain shows that will love to interview you based on a evergreen, what we say, those topics that will still going to be crucial. Plus, your segment is a few minutes, as I mentioned before, so make sure your message is clear and compelling. All right. And most time, pitching TV shows, I got on some of them also because I'm a relationship. I went to the PR firm, had introductions, reach out to them, and to be able to get these features. Make friends with the journalists. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, then we have the finally print media. There's something about story print out in a magazine that give you weight, right? Well, newspaper, magazines provides a celebrity for a chance to go in depth, to have multiple pages that's written about you. And with the rise of digital platforms and digital magazines, it becomes unlimited. Yet it is a tangible piece of reputable publication can be a very powerful tool to market your technology solution. And pitching to print, it's more about newsworthy and is good timing and a great story within what solution you're bringing within the timing you have. So your story needs to be relevant and current to the events and trends that has been happening, and then you can catch these journalists' eye. Another tip is when you submit these things, do submit supporting materials. Make the journalist's life easy. If you already submit what you can write about, what the interview is for, supporting documents, B-rolls, pictures, all those things that they would need, then of course it's easier, yes, and especially that's relevant to you. And Hero, H-E-O-R, is a platform, really just get emails 3 times a day, once a day, however you want to save it, to submit different topics and articles that journalists is posting. So that could be a way for you to get something out there. Now, because it's timely and relevant, you do have to submit them within the time frame they're asking. If you don't check it that much, if you have a writer on staff, then great, that could be a method. Otherwise, it's a lot of time. So it's not, you have to truly decipher if it's worth it for you or not. All right, so listeners, everyone, all the leaders, amazing creatives out there. All right, so how do you decide which platform is best for you? There is my framework and 5 steps. Number 1, define your goal. Are you looking for being a broad spectrum of awareness and engagement and just gain any credibility and tell a story in depth? What is it that you want? And number 2, know your audience. Who do you need to really engage with? Are most of your business B2B or are most of your business B2C? Because the way that you speak on these shows, if it's B2B, B2C, are different. You need to be clear on how you deliver these messages. 3, budget wisely. Do you have your own time, knowledge to write the pitch, to follow up the pitch, to engage with these journalists and publication producers? If not, do you have someone on your team or do you have a budget to pay a PR agency? We have many connections with PR firms, so happy to share them with you. Drop me a message on LinkedIn. And number 4, elevate your internal resources. Definitely, as I mentioned, get someone trained within a team. Craft the skill of writing great messages and truly connect you with the right people that will provide long-term return on investment. All right, number 5 is tracking your result. What type of shows? How did you do on the show? Was it that message that you deliver? How did you share them? And was it print? Which way was it easier for you? All these can help you decide which method and which platform to continue to pitch versus the other ones to weed out. All right, at the end, it's not just about finding the right mix of platform. It's truly about you telling your story, your goals, and leverage the best resource to do that. And each platform has its pros and cons, and there's no really one size fits all, right? And remember, it's not just about exposure of yourself and your company, but it's leveraging this exposure afterwards. How are you going to incorporate these into a continuous nurturing sequence for ongoing marketing strategy? And really, it's about the bigger picture, truly, not just that one feature. All right. So getting visibility for your hashtag solutions. Now you're thinking, my goodness, Sabrina, there's a lot. I've been doing a lot of speaking. One thing we didn't talk about is physical stages, right? Pitching for events. A whole nother game and talk that we can discuss. Now, you could think, oh, I've been speaking a lot, but it doesn't sound like converting. Or I just started, I don't even know where to begin. So hopefully we give you some ideas. Now, especially people that don't have a lot of resources to pitch, we wanted to share one of the major opportunity for you today. One of our partner, Post Point Path, wanted to give back and honor all the amazing healthcare technology solutions out there, but especially the best ones that are already being improving patients' life, providers' life, caregivers' lives. And in partnership with multiple TV shows, podcasts, print media, they're putting together 6 Impact Award. And this is not your everyday award, just giving you a chance to exposure. This is where they're having a follower solely for healthcare industry. And therefore, your solution when presented on these platforms versus just like a normal business platform has a lot more weight. And yes, you heard it right. This opportunity you can apply now. They actually start filming in January of 2024 for the first cohort of winners. And everything is also complimentary. Means winners don't have to pay. It's really paying your time and honoring your work to be able to go through a series of interview and truly get that winner spot. It's about earning the title, not just, oh, I won an award. At the end of the day, if you heard my episode from a month ago on competition versus conservation, we understand we do have to have that delicate balance. That competition side is about authority building. It's about being in a space where you can be introduced to other high-level entities, leaders, organizations from these awards and get massive media exposure that lead to sales and additional opportunities that you might not even thought about. Now, why Postpoint Path wants to host such level of event and give out these awards that really individually each will cost you about $8,000 to go through and get on stages for all of these amazing places is that they believe in truly giving back. And this landscape of healthcare that has so much ups and downs and hard to control what the outcome truly can be, innovations are remarkable in the world of today. And they believe the power of story sharing to truly amplifying the struggles and the wins that these health tech founders have gone through and honor them for keep going, have the resilience to build something they truly believe in and break through all the noises out there. And these awards isn't just about recognition. It's about providing a springboard for ideas that could revolutionize healthcare as we know it. And imagine your story being broadcast on popular podcasts, radio, TV show, print media, creating intimate connections with the people that are listening, from small segments to longer interviews, and that prestige of featuring you in multiple areas. And let's not forget that the expense behind that and cutting down a huge chunk of your marketing expense for doing that. So with Postpoint Path, Impact Awards, all of this isn't just a dream. You can truly get to it if you honor yourself and to show other people your determination and your true solution that we all need to know. Now, let's tie back to what we're doing, ongoing conversation on selecting the right platform for your story. It's about understanding each platform's strength and envision how your story, how your company is able to adapt into different platforms. And it's also about how can you find different resources such as Postpoint's Impact Award to be bypass the hurdle of just getting to know show hosts, producers, for them to even recognize you when they get hundreds of pitches every day. All right, how do you stand out then? For the award or for any speaking engagement or media feature, number one is your message. What is the core narrative you need to show people and get to the point? How do you tailor it to the audience? Number two, understand the audience. What's their struggles? What do they want to know? How do you make them remember you? Number three, what are your goals? What are you seeking? Is it credibility? Is it visibility? Is it strategic partnership? A mix of engagements? What is it? And therefore, I hope you're truly catching this and remember that the media landscape is multifaceted and it can be complex, but opportunities like applying to awards, applying to any features that are calling for speakers is great for you because they are already in place to receive. And you just have to take that step forward. And also without stressing out on the cost. It's the way to giving and fostering culture, innovation. You already been doing that. So do it with other people in the healthcare technology community and do it together. As we're drawing to the end, I thank you for staying around, truly learning about the different media platforms, the dilemmas, the choosing the right ones for you, and knowing truly it's not just about getting visible. And telling your story is not a gamble. It's a strategy. It's a specific decision that you have to make and the right operational implementation steps you have to consistently follow to make every media successful. And it can really shape the trajectory of your innovation and adaptability of your solution. So to all healthcare innovators out there, make sure you continue to push boundaries, keep disrupting, and keep an eye out for opportunities like PostPoint's Impact Award and any other things out there to serve as a powerful, innovative solution. And also, I hope that you enjoyed some of the talk that we can help you on your journey. If you have not subscribed to our show yet, please make sure you subscribe on your favorite platform that you're listening to podcasts or watching video on YouTube or our Roku, Apple TV, any of our platforms that you like to engage with us. And I'm very active on LinkedIn, so please drop me a message. Love to hear your perspective and really pointing you to the right direction if you need so. And it's at the end of the day, not about making an impression. It's about how do you craft the right vision that people can see you and as a leader in the industry. Your story is worth telling and you deserve to be placed on the right stages. So consider the weight of these options and opportunities and the benefits against the cost and making informed decisions that position you in the healthcare domain as the best possible solution. And hey, don't hesitate. Reach out to experts, whether it's myself or any connections I have. I'm sure all of us are happy to give you advices and help you to not be so overwhelmed. And apply to the Impact Awards because at the end of the day, it is not just massive media exposure. It's about putting you with the right connections, collaborative networking, and helping you to close the deal and quickly scale your company. All right. Who knows? Maybe the next story, next time I'm going to be on this show or other shows I'm hosting or I'm watching an event on TV, you're the one who's sitting across and delivering something amazing, the best solutions I needed to tell my patients or my families and connections. So stay curious, stay bold, and continue to innovate for a healthier, brighter future for all of us.
Thank you for listening. Remember, the positive change we're seeking starts right here with me and you. If you are a fan of the show or if you are just having struggles or success that you're either experienced in the past or are experiencing now in the healthcare industry, these matter to all of us. I want to hear from you. Visit SabrinaRunbeck.com/connect and send me a direct message. Talk soon.